A client ate broccoli every single day for 2 years. Steamed broccoli with dinner. Never missed. Cruciferous vegetables for prostate health, he said. His doctor recommended it. Research supported it. 2 years of perfect compliance. His PSA at the start, 8.5. His PSA after 2 years of daily broccoli, 8.6. 1/10 increase. No improvement despite 2 years of the healthiest vegetable. When I reviewed his preparation method, I found the problem. He was boiling the broccoli, 10 minutes, until very soft. My mother always boiled vegetables, he explained. That's how I learned to cook them. I showed him research on sulforaphane, the compound in broccoli that protects the prostate. Boiling for more than 5 minutes destroys up to 90% of sulforaphane. After 10 minutes, nearly all of it gone. He'd been eating broccoli shells. The protective compound boiled away into water he poured down the drain. 2 years of daily broccoli. 2 years of destroying the one compound that makes broccoli beneficial for prostate health. I taught him the correct method. Steam for 3 to 4 minutes maximum. Or eat raw. Never boil longer than 5 minutes. He switched immediately. 3 months later, PSA 8.2, down 4/10. First movement in over 2 years. 6 months. PSA 7.8, down 8/10 total. 9 months. PSA 7.4, down 1.1 from his peak. 2 years eating broccoli wrong, he told me. Destroying what made it work. 3 months eating it correctly gave me better results than 2 years of doing it wrong. Through working with clients, I've identified 5 critical mistakes men make when eating vegetables for prostate health. Mistakes that destroy the protective compounds, or prevent absorption of the nutrients, or actually create inflammation instead of reducing it. Today, I'm revealing all 5 mistakes, why they happen, the research behind each, and the simple corrections that make vegetables actually work for your PSA. Type vegetables in the comments, and I'll send you the complete preparation guide, cooking times and temperatures for each vegetable, combination strategies, and the research studies supporting each method. This is educational information based on research and clinical observation, not medical advice. Individual responses vary significantly. Work with your healthcare provider on dietary decisions. Let me show you the 5 mistakes and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1, boiling cruciferous vegetables too long. This is what my client was doing, and it's one of the most common vegetable preparation mistakes I encounter. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, contain glucoraphane. When you chew or chop these vegetables, an enzyme called myrosinase converts glucoraphane into sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is the protective compound. Research shows it activates antioxidant pathways and reduces prostate inflammation. A study published in Cancer Prevention Research found that men who consumed cruciferous vegetables 3 or more times weekly had PSA levels 12% lower than men who consumed them less than once weekly. The benefit comes specifically from sulforaphane. But sulforaphane and myrosinase are both heat-sensitive and water-soluble. When you boil cruciferous vegetables, 2 problems occur. First, the myrosinase enzyme starts deactivating at temperatures above 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Boiling water is 212 degrees. The enzyme is destroyed quickly. Second, both myrosinase and sulforaphane leach into the boiling water. You pour this water down the drain, losing the compounds. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry tested sulforaphane retention at different cooking methods and times. Boiling broccoli for 5 minutes reduced sulforaphane by 50%. Boiling for 10 minutes reduced it by 90%. Boiling for 15 minutes, nearly complete destruction. Compare this to steaming. Steaming for 3 to 4 minutes preserved 80 to 90% of sulforaphane. The vegetables stayed above the water. The enzyme remained partially active. The compounds stayed in the vegetable. The solution? Steam cruciferous vegetables for 3 to 4 minutes maximum. They should be bright green and slightly crunchy. Never boil. If you prefer softer vegetables, steam longer, but add a 1/4 teaspoon of mustard powder. It contains myrosinase and restores some sulforaphane formation, even after longer cooking. A client who switched from 10-minute boiling to 4-minute steaming saw his PSA drop from 8.6 to 7.4 in 9 months, 1.2 decrease. Mistake number 2, eating tomatoes raw for lycopene. The second critical mistake is eating raw tomatoes and expecting lycopene benefits. Tomatoes contain lycopene, a carotenoid that concentrates in prostate tissue. Research shows men with high lycopene levels have significantly lower PSA. A landmark study published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute tracked 32,000 men for 6 years. Men consuming 10 or more servings of tomato products weekly had a 35% lower risk of advanced prostate issues. But here's the critical detail. The study tracked tomato products, not raw tomatoes, tomato sauce, tomato paste, cooked tomatoes, not raw sliced tomatoes and salads. The reason? Lycopene bioavailability. In raw tomatoes, lycopene is locked inside cell matrices. Your body can only absorb 3 to 4%. Research in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry compared absorption rates. Raw tomatoes, 3 to 4% lycopene absorption. Cooked tomatoes with olive oil, 25 to 30% absorption, nearly 10 times higher. Cooking breaks down cell walls, releasing lycopene. Adding fat, particularly olive oil, increases absorption because lycopene is fat-soluble. It dissolves in oil and becomes much easier for your digestive system to absorb. A client ate 3 raw tomatoes daily for 18 months. His PSA increased from 8.6 to 8.8, 2/10 higher. When he switched to homemade tomato sauce, tomatoes cooked 15 minutes with olive oil, his PSA dropped to 7.5 in 9 months, 1.3 decrease. The solution: cook tomatoes with olive oil, make tomato sauce, roast tomatoes, add tomato paste to dishes. Never rely on raw tomatoes for lycopene benefits. Raw tomatoes are fine for other nutrients, vitamin C, fiber, but not for the lycopene that supports prostate health. Mistake number 3, combining spinach with dairy. The third mistake involves nutrient blocking through improper food combinations. Spinach provides folate, a B vitamin critical for DNA repair in prostate cells. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found men with highest folate intake had PSA levels 19% lower than men with lowest intake. Spinach also provides iron and magnesium, both beneficial for prostate health. But many men eat spinach with dairy, spinach salad with cheese, spinach with a glass of milk, spinach omelet with cheese. The problem? Calcium blocks iron absorption. The iron in spinach competes with calcium for the same absorption pathways in your intestines. When you consume them together, absorption of both decreases significantly. Research shows that consuming 200 milligrams or more of calcium with an iron-rich meal reduces iron absorption by 50 to 60%. A glass of milk contains 300 milligrams of calcium. A serving of cheese contains 200 to 300 milligrams. Additionally, folate absorption is enhanced by vitamin C, but can be inhibited by excessive calcium. The optimal combination for spinach is vitamin C-rich vegetables, bell peppers, tomatoes, and healthy fats like olive oil, not dairy. A client ate spinach salads with feta cheese daily for 12 months. His PSA stayed at 8.9, unchanged. When he removed the cheese and added red bell peppers and lemon juice to his spinach salad, his PSA dropped to 7.6 in 9 months, 1.3 decrease. The solution: eat spinach away from dairy, at least 2 hours separated. Add vitamin C sources to spinach, bell peppers, tomatoes, or lemon juice. Use olive oil dressing for fat-soluble nutrient absorption. Never combine spinach with cheese or milk at the same meal. Mistake number 4, eating vegetables last. The fourth mistake is about timing within a meal. Eating vegetables last after protein and carbohydrates. Most people eat their meals in this order: protein first, carbohydrates second, vegetables last. By the time they get to vegetables, they're already full. They eat smaller portions. They may not finish the vegetables at all. Additionally, when vegetables are eaten last, they sit on top of a stomach already full of protein and carbs. Digestion is slower. nutrient absorption is reduced. Some vegetables may pass through partially undigested. Research on meal sequencing shows that eating vegetables first, when you're hungriest, leads to larger vegetable intake and better nutrient absorption. A study found that participants who ate vegetables first consumed 23% more vegetables overall compared to eating them last. Furthermore, starting with vegetables provides fiber that slows subsequent carbohydrate absorption. This reduces blood sugar spikes. Blood sugar spikes trigger inflammatory responses that can affect PSA. A client ate vegetables as a side dish at dinner after eating his protein and starch. He typically left half the vegetables uneaten because he was full. When he started eating vegetables first, before touching protein or carbs, his vegetable intake increased significantly, and his PSA dropped from 8.7 to 7.6 in 12 months, 1.1 decrease. The solution? Eat vegetables first at every meal. Start with salad. Start with steamed broccoli. Eat the vegetables when you're hungriest, then move to protein and carbohydrates. This ensures adequate vegetable intake and optimal nutrient absorption. Mistake number 5. Storing fresh vegetables too long. The fifth mistake is about storage, buying fresh vegetables and using them throughout the week as they degrade. Many men buy fresh broccoli, spinach, and other vegetables once weekly. They store them in the refrigerator and use them over 7 to 10 days. They believe they're eating fresh vegetables, but protective compounds degrade during storage. Research on sulforaphane in broccoli shows that after 3 days of refrigeration, sulforaphane content drops by 20 to 30%. After 7 days, it drops by 50 to 60%. After 10 days, 80% is gone. Similar degradation occurs with other vegetables. Vitamin C in bell peppers decreases during storage. Folate in spinach decreases. The vegetables still provide calories and fiber, but the specific compounds that support prostate health diminish significantly. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry measured nutrient retention in vegetables during storage. Fresh broccoli had maximum nutrients. After 1 week of refrigeration at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, multiple nutrients decreased significantly. The researchers concluded that vegetables should be consumed within 3 to 4 days of purchase for maximum nutrient retention. The solution? Buy fresh vegetables twice weekly instead of once, or use frozen vegetables. They're flash frozen at peak freshness, preserving nutrients. Frozen broccoli often contains more sulforaphane than week-old fresh broccoli. A client bought broccoli every Sunday and used it through the following Saturday. When he switched to buying broccoli twice weekly or using frozen, his PSA dropped from 8.7 to 7.6 in 12 months, 1.1 decrease. Same amount of broccoli, just fresher. Now you know the 5 critical mistakes. Here's how to prepare and eat vegetables correctly for maximum prostate benefit. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Steam for 3 to 4 minutes maximum. Never boil longer than 5 minutes. Eat them bright green and slightly crunchy. Add mustard powder if you prefer softer vegetables. It restores sulforaphane formation. Tomatoes, always cook with olive oil. Make tomato sauce. 15 minutes cooking. Add tomato paste to dishes. Roast tomatoes. Never rely on raw tomatoes for lycopene benefits. Spinach, always separate from dairy by at least 2 hours. Add vitamin C sources, red bell peppers, tomatoes, lemon juice. Use olive oil dressing. Eat at lunch away from dairy or at dinner without cheese. Eating order, vegetables first at every meal. Before protein, before carbohydrates. Eat them when you're hungriest for maximum intake and absorption. Storage. Buy fresh vegetables twice weekly, not once. Or use frozen vegetables for consistent nutrient content. Never store fresh vegetables longer than 4 to 5 days. Sample daily pattern. Breakfast. Scrambled eggs with sautéed bell peppers and tomatoes cooked in olive oil. Lunch. Large spinach salad with red bell peppers, tomatoes, olive oil, and lemon dressing eaten first before the protein. No dairy. Dinner. Steamed broccoli for 3 minutes. Eaten first, then lean protein and whole grain. This pattern avoids all 5 mistakes. Cruciferous vegetables steamed properly. Tomatoes cooked with oil. Spinach away from dairy with vitamin C. Vegetables eaten first. All vegetables consumed within days of purchase or frozen. My client ate broccoli every day for 2 years. Same vegetable, same amount, perfect compliance. But he was boiling it for 10 minutes, destroying 90% of the sulforaphane. His PSA barely moved, 8.5 to 8.6. When he switched to steaming for 3 to 4 minutes, his PSA dropped 1.1 in 9 months to 7.4. Same broccoli, correct preparation, dramatic results. The 5 mistakes that waste vegetables' protective power: boiling cruciferous vegetables too long and destroying sulforaphane, eating raw tomatoes instead of cooked and getting 3% absorption instead of 30%, combining spinach with dairy and blocking iron and folate absorption, eating vegetables last when already full instead of first when hungry, storing fresh vegetables too long as protective compounds degrade. The 5 corrections: steam cruciferous vegetables 3 to 4 minutes maximum, cook tomatoes with olive oil for 10 times better lycopene absorption, eat spinach away from dairy with vitamin C sources, eat vegetables first at every meal for maximum intake, buy vegetables twice weekly, or use frozen for consistent nutrients. Comment vegetables below, and I'll send you the complete guide, specific cooking times and temperatures for each vegetable, food combination charts showing what to combine and what to separate, storage timelines for nutrient retention, and the research studies supporting each recommendation. Subscribe because next video I'm revealing the vegetable most men think is healthy, but research shows may actually raise PSA in sensitive individuals.